My name's Perry Dement. I'm Director of Advancement here at MUS, and we're excited for our new facility here today. And we'll gather in look at all these soccer players today. Pretty cool. So I hope everyone found a parking spot. I'm going to have to keep away from that thing. Can everybody hear other than the feedback? Is it all good? All right, thank you so much. Well, thank you for being here, and without further ado, Headmaster Pete Sanders.
Okay. All right, thank you, Perry, and welcome. This is just a wonderful turnout here on this nice, breezy day, and this is something that we're all excited about, so we're glad you're here to join us. I'm Pete Sanders. I'm the headmaster here at MUS, and today it's my pleasure to welcome you to the campus on our soccer field to honor two dedicated soccer families and people who have been involved in the soccer program at MUS over the years. So we have a real mix of people here with that common connection of soccer. It's exciting. Before I proceed, I want to just give a couple of shout-outs, accolades for the people who put this together. I don't know if Brett Grinder's here. He was going to try to make it, but his team at Grinder came to us and said, we can do this. And Reggie Bozina, the project manager, they did just that. And it was quite a feat because we sort of gave this a green light in January. And to do a winter project as they did, needless to say, the weather didn't always cooperate, a lot of rain, but then an ice storm and a spring break snowstorm. And despite all that, look at what we have here. It's just fantastic. I also want to give a shout out to LSI Graphics for the sign. I hope you got to take a look at the sign as you come up through the pavilion over there that joins the two fields. But it's beautifully done, and Bubba Zell of LSI, thank you for taking care of that for us, seeing to that, and then Lindsay Hansley, also the project manager there. Well, let's honor now the families who made this possible and who we want to honor here. The Webb family, Jeff, Gina, and Jeffrey, MUS class of 2007, are here with us today, and we thank them for their generosity in providing this beautiful field and initiating and contributing to these improvements that we're celebrating here today. Their longtime consistent support of our soccer program benefits our student athletes, coaches, and alumni along, in supporting and putting together this excellent facility. The Creson family, Shelley, Beau, class of 2006, and his wife Carolyn, Alex, class of 2015, and Julia, are with us today as well as we dedicate the new Creson Players Pavilion in memory of their late husband and father, Larry Creson, class of 1983. Larry left a lasting impression on his fellow alumni and displayed notable leadership and dedication to the MUS and the greater Memphis soccer communities. He's left a big footprint here, and it's our honor to honor him on our campus. Looking back at soccer at MUS, in November 1970, Tom Sheeran, class of 1965, organized the inaugural MUS soccer team. Through parent provisions and student labor, 15 Owls took the field as an organized group that year. By the late 70s, the soccer program had grown to field a varsity and a JV roster, earning state runner-up recognition in 1977, later 1996 and 2003, and clinching state championship titles 1982 and 2004. Larry Creson played on the championship team in 1982, and 22 years later, his son Beau was on the 2004 championship team. And the program continues to grow in numbers and talent. I want to take just a moment also to recognize a group of senior players from the class of 2020, and I think some of them are here, but that team that year, there's a couple there, okay. That team was laden with talented seniors, 17 of them, and of course we know that COVID stole that season from us, and that was heartbreaking. But that was a great team, and we can always think of what could have been if they'd been allowed to compete. And again, that was something, but we're just glad they're here, and we're thinking of you on this day. All right, so today we celebrate the addition of this much-needed and beautiful facility for our athletes and opposing team. The commemorative plaque, which is there being shielded from the wind, will read as follows. Creson Players Pavilion in memory of Larry Barkley Creson III, class of '83. A member of the Owls' 1982 state championship soccer team, Larry was a standout player for Memphis University School, the University of Memphis, and professionally for early Memphis teams, including the Storm and the Rogues, basically the forerunners of the 901 team we have now. Following his years as a player, Larry extended his passion for the game into a career as a devoted coach and leader, developing soccer players, programs, and communities in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Provided by the Webb family, together with Larry's family and friends of MUS Soccer. Dedicated March 2022. We are grateful to the Webbs, the Cresons, and the many generous donors, many of you are here today, who are recognized in the program, in your program you have in your hands, on the new monument sign at the entrance to the field. And if you came through this way, try to take a look at it. It's over there as you come in through the pavilion there. We're also here today to cheer on the soccer team. We have a game coming up. And Coach Vincent Beck. We wish them great luck for this season. Thank you all for being here today. Go out!
You think teaching, working with high school boys and having to give talks to 20 or 30 boys on a daily basis, as well as teaching classes for 25 years with 7th graders and high schoolers, I'd be comfortable talking in front of people. But I have to say, I've had to kind of work on it over the last week or two, and then the delay last week, I don't know if it helped me or it hurt me or not. So a lot of my practice time has actually been with my border collie. I've been walking him in the morning and giving him speeches, and he's a very good feedback because he wags his tail every time I open my mouth, and so I came up here very confident that I was going to do okay. But what a great day for MUS Soccer today, and the program, and coming in the gate here at the field to see that kind of a monument sign that's there, and see the past success from the program and the history of the program, and to see all those people and all those names on there is just is such a great feeling, and it's about time that something like that has actually been here and been there for families and players and everyone that's been involved in the program over the 50 odd years that the program has been around. So that was great to see, and it was nice to see that. So today I'm here to obviously thank everyone who's been involved with the program while I've been involved with it for 25 years, but also everyone who's been involved in it before then. And that goes for families, parents, players, former coaches, everyone that's done anything to get us to where we are here today. So, but of special notice today are a few families, and certainly the Webb family is the first family I'm going to talk about. They've been involved here with the soccer program for over 20 years now. When I first met the Webbs, it had to do with uniforms and a company called Select, which was kind of revolutionary at that time because you designed your own uniforms. I think you got on a computer. I don't even know if I could use a computer then. But you got on a computer and you could actually design your own uniforms. And when we got finished with that, we had designed a nice uniform for the varsity team, and then the Webb family went ahead and donated those uniforms for the program. So that was all. We were off to a great start there. And that relationship continued with Jeffrey, obviously being here at school and being part of the soccer program, being a successful part of the soccer program. And then later on, when new additions were made to the fields and to the facilities, the Webb name was then added to the field. And so for over 20 years now, the Webb family has been working with the program, and we really appreciate that. Larry Creson was a bit of a legend in his time when he was here at MUS, because he was on a team that won a state title here with MUS. And I know he had a great career at the University of Memphis. And as was mentioned earlier, he went on and played in the pros, and that's the first time I actually met Larry Creson. Larry Creson and I were teammates with the Memphis Storm in 1986. I was drafted out of college at Old Dominion, and Larry was picked up here through Memphis, and we became teammates in 1986 and played for the Memphis Storm for several years, and that's where I got to know Larry. And that's where we became friends. And over the years, we played on men's league teams together. I just checked with his son there, because I believe at one point I actually played in a tournament in Nashville where I stayed at Larry Creson's mother's house for a couple of days. I was actually put up there. So my connection with Larry goes back, over 40 years, close to, 30-something years. And, so it's that's that tie we had, that connection we had, we kept over the years. And then, of course, when his sons came through school, that tie and that connection continued. And Beau, being a part of the second championship team, kept that kind of going with the Creson family. And then Alex gave it his best to try and make it 3. But it wasn't from lack of effort, but it certainly was a successful time when the Creson family was part of the program. And so I really appreciate all of what they have done, all of what the Webb family have done for the team and for the program here. And I'd like to thank everyone else that's here today, former players, former coaches, obviously families that are associated with them, teachers that are here that are supporters of the team and supporters of the players, people with the administration who do so much work behind the scenes and set things like this up today and do all of this work. To have a look at this incredible addition to the facilities here at MUS is such a great day for everyone involved with the soccer program. So thank you very much.
Can y'all hear me all right? Great. Hello to all of you. My name is Jeffrey Webb. As was just said, I was a member of the soccer team here at MUS from 7th grade up and graduated in 2007, which is a long time ago now, saddeningly to me. Every day I look back and it's just, my time here is a little bit more and more removed, and I'm a little bit older, and the hairline creeps up my head 1 more centimeter at a time. On behalf of the entire Webb family, we are thrilled to be here dedicating the new and improved Webb field for MUS soccer. I want to start by thanking my parents, who always encouraged me growing up and got personally involved, whether it was never missing a game as a fan or coaching my rec or club teams, my father advocating ceaselessly on my behalf to the referee on occasion, sometimes too much, and for always contributing to the institutions that matter so much to me. When people make these kind of speeches, they typically say that I'm so grateful to be able to give back. But I think that phrase isn't quite adequate to explain the relationship with MUS and the soccer program that I have. When I played here, as I said, 15 years ago now, I wasn't the best player on the team. Beau here was significantly better than I was, and I had the unenviable task of taking over for him at center midfield after I graduated. And our team wasn't the best team in the state at that time either, sadly. When I was a senior, dreaded CBHS was probably the best team in the city. But when I look back on that time playing here under Coach Beck, and the games and scoring goals are not the things that stand out in my mind. The things that stand out are 100 spring afternoons like this one, doing drills with my teammates, shooting drills, keep away, and of course thrilling competitions against teams like Briarcrest, St. George's, and dreaded old CBHS. But winning, and indeed excelling in all areas, academic and athletic, is merely an incidental byproduct of building the experiences and character traits that MUS strives to instill in its students. On this field, a decade and change ago, I experienced and was taught the camaraderie of pushing and being pushed by my friends, of working with others towards a common goal, even sometimes with people you don't get along with all that well, of learning a dedication to the game, and most importantly, of learning how to fail well and to keep going anyway. Even now, when I mess up something at work, very mundane task, my mind leaps back to an afternoon where we actually lost to ECS. So I'm hoping you guys turn that around for me this evening. The loss was embarrassing. We were better than ECS that year. We shouldn't have lost. It was a huge disappointment to us. We were all sitting on the bench dejected after the game. Coach Beck walked up to us, told us to pick our heads up, and said, "Men, a loss is only a loss if you learn nothing from it." So the relationship runs deeper than merely give and take. This place was a vehicle for the person that I and hundreds of other boys became, and I'm eternally grateful. I'm also very grateful, and the Webb family is honored to dedicate the new player area to Coach Webb-Creson. There are very few people, as has been stated before, who have done more for the sport of soccer in Memphis than Coach Creson. His accolades have already been spelled out somewhat, but personally, he coached me for many years in club soccer in what was then called the Fury or Germantown Soccer Club, which some of you may remember. He turned us into one of the best teams in the region, and we went on to win and place in tournaments all over the Southeast. He also coached my sister Caroline, who was a hell of a soccer player herself at Hutchinson. And in fact, they played most of their big games right here on this field, since they didn't have a suitable one down at Hutchinson at the time. And of course, before all that, he was an owl and one of the best players to ever lace up boots for MUS. Coach Creson could be tough, but you always knew he was pushing you because he respected you, he cared for you, and wanted you to grow and play according to the potential that he saw in you. He is dearly missed, and it's a privilege to honor him this evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey. I'm Beau-Creson, class of 2006. It's exciting to be here. I want to make a point of clarification. There's a lot of shout-outs to me about the state tournament, which Coach Beck especially, I appreciate that. But I would say my dad did a lot on his team. I mostly sat on the bench that used to be here during that season. So I wish I had had this. In the spring, I was freezing. In the summer, it was hot. This is a blessing for you players. No excuses now. You've got it all. So I'll be very brief. I just want to say thank you to MUS. I think, as has been said, this was a much-needed addition. This is a place where people like Jeffrey, people like me, just being here is really emotional from the standpoint of the friendships that were made, the influence it had on people's lives. So thank you to y'all. Thank you for letting us be a part of this. My dad, for those of you who knew him, he loved soccer. But it wasn't about the winning. It certainly wasn't about the parents. It was about the players. So I think, there's no more fitting tribute to my father than I think the Creson Player Pavilion, because he cared about his players. What Jeffrey just shared, when he passed, we heard hundreds of stories like that, and so it's I think he's looking down, just really proud. He would have loved this. He would have taken a jab at the football program to say, look at what we've got now. And so thank you so much for that. Thank you for letting us be a part of it. And go Owls.
Well, folks, that's the program for today, but I hope everyone will stay for the game against DCS. It'll be gearing up here in just a little bit. There are refreshments on that end of the field. Please help yourself, and thank you all so much for being here today. We appreciate it.